This is VFL Weekly Wrap for round 18. It was a busy week. I went to 3 games. I'll just go through the other games real quickly. Sydney defeated GWS by 28 points at NG Stadium. This was a Friday game. 14-15-99 to 11-5-71. Big upset there. GWS are now 1 win and 3 losses on that ground this year. Sydney get another scalp. GWS's top 4 chances are looking slim now. Brisbane defeated Gold Coast by 9 points at Carrara, 12-10-82 to 11-7-73. Brisbane took 64 more marks. For Brisbane, Henry Smith, 20 possessions, 10 marks, 22 hitouts. For the Suns, Ned Maul, 54 hitouts. Gold Coast were 33 points ahead in that second quarter. And they only kicked 1 goal 5 in the second half, so that was an absolute capitulation. Now, a game at the Hangar saw Footscray belt Essendon by 63 points, 13-17-95 to 5-2-32. Footscray dominated this game. They had 152 more possessions, 28 more inside 50s. Well, it's been a rubbish year for Essendon. It just gets worse and worse. They've lost 9 in a row. Footscray won 8 in a row. They're in the top 2. Now, game at Fankhauser Reserves saw Southport beat Williamstown by 22 points. 17-10, 112 to 14-6-90. Well, Williamstown, they're on a slippery slope now. They have lost 3 in a row, and they're just hanging in that top 10. The Sharks, they've won their last 3. That's virtually guaranteed them the top 4 spot now. Saturday night at Frankston Oval saw Frankston beat Collingwood by 36 points. That was a TV game. 16-10, 106 to 10-10, 70. Collingwood only took 34 marks. Now, the man in form, Tom Blamirez, 43 possessions. Absolutely killing it this year. Very impressive win for Frankston. They have now won 5 in a row. They are 7 wins and 1 loss at home. So they've got a real big home ground advantage there. Great win for the club. Now Casey, they smashed Sandringham by 63 points at Casey Fields. 18-15, 123 to 9-6-60. During the first quarter, Casey kicked 7 goals in a 16-minute period. Terrible from Sandringham. Casey have now won their last 3 games, and look at the margins. 76, 108 and 63. And they're in that top 10. Now I'll go through the games I went to. The Saturday game at Chirnside Park. I saw Richmond beat a disappointing Werribee by 46 points. 15-9-99 to 7-11-53. The game was over at quarter time. Richmond 6 goals 5 to 1 goal 1. Richmond 3 goals to 2 in the second quarter. Werribee 3 goals to 1 in the third. And Richmond ran away again. 5 goals to 1 in the last. The major goal kickers for Richmond, they had 5 players that kicked 2 goals. Nick Girolami, Tom Ferguson, Josh Pollux, Harry Armstrong, and Mohamed Yassin. They kicked 2 each. For Werribee, Hudson Groney, again, he kicked 4. The possessions for Richmond, Harry Scott had 25 possessions. Jacob Blight had another good game. 21 possessions, 24 hitouts. Lachlan Street, 20 possessions, 11 clearances. Now, some standouts here for Werribee. Jack Riding, 35 possessions, 7 tackles and a goal, and 6 clearances. Louis Pinnock, 30 possessions, 10 marks. Emerson Jecker, 26 possessions, 9 marks. Don Brew, 26 possessions, 7 tackles, 7 clearances. Sam Conway, 18 possessions, 12 clearances, 1 goal, 60 hitouts. Werribee had 73 more possessions. They had 12 more inside 50s. They had 32 more hit-outs. They took 48 more marks. That tells, well, it does look like with those stats that Werribee dominated, but they didn't. It was quite the opposite. They, like I said, their game style just does not cut it at the moment. They just chip it sideways, chip it short, possession game, just not working. Just too many easy kicks, not doing the hard yards there. Richmond laid 29 more tackles. Their tackling was excellent. High free kick count, 55 free kicks in the match. Werribee had 33, Richmond had 22. Now, it was a miserable, cold, rainy, dark day. And Richmond just jumped Werribee. I have to say this, that is the worst first quarter I've ever seen Werribee play. That was a pathetic, rat shit first quarter from a proud club like Werribee. And when I was in that huddle at quarter time, the coach, Jimmy Allen, well, he gave one of the all-time best sprays I've heard. That was probably a highlight of the game. Highlight of the match, to be honest, his spray. But they basically showed they didn't have the want. They didn't care. Not playing for the team. They just weren't physical at all. They just made stupid mistakes. They refused to stay goal side of their opponents. They just made Richmond's job far too easy. It was just terrible. Like I could go on all night about how bad they were. That was terrible. The game was gone by then. Look, it annoys me that they put up an excellent performance against Coburg. They destroyed Coburg's finals chances. They played an excellent game there at Coburg City Oval. And then they put in this garbage performance. It's completely unacceptable. Enough of that. Richmond, they deserve to win. They were the better team. They probably should play finals now after that. Werribee just can't play at home. They're 2 wins and 6 losses at home. They've lost their last 5 at Chirnside Park. But everyone's just cashing in on them there. Good win for Richmond. Now, I went to 2 games on Sunday. I did the double header. Both good games. Again, Sunday, rain, overcast, dark, cold. This was probably one of the matches of the season. Geelong beat North Melbourne by 2 points at Arden Street. 16-8-104 to 15-12-102. Geelong jumped them in the first quarter. 7 goals to 3 in the first quarter. Then they kicked 4 goals to 3 in the second. North replied with 5 goals to 3 in the third. Last quarter, they kicked 4-4 to 2-3 to Kangas, but it wasn't enough. For Geelong, Jay Polkinghorne kicked 3. Now, these 4 players kicked 2 each for Geelong. Oliver Wiltshire, Xavier Ivasic, Ollie Henry and Jai Clark. For North Melbourne, Matt Whitlock and Geordie Payne, 4 each, and Cooper Trenbar kicked 3. The possessions, George Stevens for Geelong had 30 possessions, 12 clearances. Ted Closey, 28 possessions and a goal. For the Kangaroos, Adam Tomlinson, 31 possessions, 8 marks. Geordie Payne, with his 4 goals, had 9 tackles. North Melbourne dominated the tackle count, 103 to 59. Geelong, during the second quarter, were 41 points up. They were in cruise mode. They were playing some very good football, open football. Even then, Geelong kicked the first goal the last quarter and they shot out to a 21-point lead. I thought this game's pretty much over. And then North Melbourne kicked 4 goals in a row to hit the lead from the 17-minute mark to 27-minute mark of that last quarter. It was amazing. But Geelong got a controversial free kick in the forward pocket for a push in the back. And one of the other players back-chatted to the umpire, probably swore at him, gave away a 50-metre penalty and got the kick right in front. Tobin Murray kicked the winning goal for Geelong after the siren. Absolute heartbreak for North Melbourne. They worked their backside off to get in front. It was a game they had to win. And they just let it slip away. They'll be disappointed with that loss, North Melbourne. It was a very good game of football, like I said. That whole second quarter belted down with rain. but it was a high quality game. Now Geelong have won 3 games by 3 points or under this year. North Melbourne have lost 4 games by under 3 goals this year, and that's probably the reason why they're not playing final. They're not going to play finals. Great game. And then I trekked over to Princess City Oval and got there at half time. Northern Bullants against Coburg. The battle for Bell Street 2 this year. Coburg needed to win, and they did. 15-point winners. 13-7-85 to 9-16-70. Coburg jumped them in the first quarter. 6 goals won to 3-4. 2 goals each in the second quarter. It was a real dour struggle in the third quarter. Bullants 1 goal 5. Coburg 1 goal 4. It was a mistake-riddled third quarter. It was very physical, though, for a derby game. Coburg 4 straight to 3-4 in the last. For Coburg, Cole Waitman kicked 3. Jesse Corillano and Mitch Pajaski 2 each. Sam Donegan 2 for the Bullants. The possessions, Donovan Tui 30 possessions for Coburg. Jack Bytel 30 possessions and a goal. Joel Trudgeon 29 possessions, 1 goal, 7 tackles, 9 clearances. For the Bullants, Pat Fairley again. 39 possessions, 8 marks, 9 clearances. Sam Donegan 31 possessions, 2 goals, 8 clearances. Jean-Luc Verosaurus 29 possessions and a goal. Bullants had 10 more inside 50s, 11 more clearances, took 18 more marks. High free kick count, 61 free kicks in the game. Bullants won that 33-28. Coburg just seemed to have them measured for the whole game. They had that 2 3-goal margin. And they looked like they were slightly in control. They had it under control there. Now it got down to a 1-goal game in that last quarter. And then Coburg kicked 3 goals in 8 minutes to basically kill the game. It was a very physical game. Excellent crowd. You can just feel the tension. You can just cut it with a knife. Coburg needed to win that game, and they did. They've won their last 4 games against the Bullants now. Head-to-head, Bullants still lead them head-to-head. 81-79 and 3 draws. A good derby game there. Despite the conditions. Leading goal kickers, well, Brody McLaughlin will probably win it. 58 goals. Mitch Pajaski, 47. That's pretty much it. The ladder, I'll go through it real quick. Box Hill are 52 points. Footscray, 48. The Sharks are 46. That top 3 set. There are 5 teams on 40 points. GWS, Frankston, Brisbane, Collingwood, Richmond. Casey's 9th on 38. And Williamstown, a 10th on 36. Coburg now 11th on 32 points. They're just a win behind now. North Melbourne, they shot themselves in foot yet again. They're 30. Geelong, Carlton are both 28. Rest are gone. They're rubbish. Forget about them. Incredible ladder, isn't it? I think Casey, Williamstown, Coburg, North Melbourne, those 4 teams are going to fight for 2 spots. Casey's sitting nicely in there now, but they've got a tough 2 games coming up. Williamstown, they've got a tricky 2 games as well. Coburg, they can win their 2 games. They've got 2 home games left, but one of them's against Brisbane. So I think if Coburg can win those 2 games, they'll get in. North have got 3 games left, but they've got a hard draw. Lose to Sydney and then Geelong. 2 games they probably should have won. It's fascinating, isn't it? Now the matches coming up. Round 19. Casey, Geelong, Werribee have the bye. There's 9 games. Friday game. Whitten Oval, Footscray, GWS. 7 games on Saturday. Why is it there many games on Saturday and 1 on Sunday? That is so stupid on the VFL. I'm just sick of the way that the VFL doing their draw. Ridiculous. Anyway, the Saturday games. The Sharks against Box Hill will be matched around. Sydney play Essendon. No one's going to care about that. Suns against Richmond. Coburg, Brisbane. I'll be going to that game. I haven't watched Brisbane yet this year. Williamstown, Collingwood's going to be another cracker. Port Melbourne play the Bullants. Frankston, Carlton. Another TV game for Frankston. Just 1 game on Sunday. Sandringham, North Melbourne. I probably won't go to that because I might go to AFL game. Definitely make or break. Some teams have 2 games remaining. Others have 3. 3 rounds to go. We're hitting the crescendo now. It's going to be fascinating. See you next week.